For This Week in Washington, I'm Brian Darling. Drilling, the Coburn Omnibus, and the United Nations are the three big issues this week in Washington. Last week began a new era in American energy policy, but not for the reasons you may think. The House of Representatives passed a sham energy bill, in the words of House Minority Whip Roy Blunt. Although the bill does open up some offshore areas to drilling, it sets up a revenue-sharing scheme that would not give states an incentive to participate in the new drilling program. The bill does contain a provision allowing some oil shale excavation in the Mountain West, but the bill as a whole is a half measure that may set back the goal of conservatives to drill, baby, drill. The good news for conservatives is that the debate is now focused on where to drill, and the U.S. Senate seems to have gotten the message. Also last week, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid announced that his misnamed Advancing America's Priority Act bill would again be considered by the Senate. These are the same priorities that were rejected by the Senate this past July. That Coburn Omnibus was a package of about 100 bills, potentially costing the taxpayers millions. This package contains none of the conservative priorities of lowering taxes, drill baby drill, and restoring the Second Amendment to the residents of the District of Columbia. Please read Legislative Lowdown and Human Events this week for conservative issues coming up in Washington. Brett Schaefer of the Heritage Foundation has written that the United Nations' primary responsibilities, and the one with which Americans most agree with, is to help maintain international peace and security. The Bush administration and Congress need to consider carefully any request by the United Nations for additional funding for a system in which procurement problems have wasted millions of dollars and sexual abuse by peacekeepers is still occurring. Without fundamental reform, these problems will likely continue and expand, undermining the UN's credibility and ability to accomplish one of its primary missions, maintaining international peace and security. That's This Week in Washington. I'll see you next week. For more information, log on to heritage.org and stay tuned next week for more news and information.